they've been pushing me to, you know, even pick up my pace. Zane did amazing yesterday, pushed me to the line, and I made a mistake, and it sort of caused me a bit of a hiccup for the weekend to start it with. But you know, it's so nice to start the Sunday well with a win, and you know, let's hopefully keep moving forward like we are now and keep the momentum up. Yeah, but you know, it's a great track once you get to know it, but it sort of bit me in the arse yesterday, and yeah, had to keep it careful today, get back into the rhythm, and yeah.
Well done, great result. Oh, Zane. Well, Zane, I know you're a contractor, but you picked up a little bit of dirt with you.
Yeah. Just a bit of stupidity on my part. You know, I was just stoked on it. It was a good race, and I've done something I shouldn't have done, and I feel like a bit of an arse now. But sometimes that's the way it goes, and people make mistakes, and that's racing.
You can go to Jay Lawrence. He's got some pointers about that for you, as well as he did at Wanganui a couple of years ago. So don't worry, you're not in an elite club. Others have done it before. But hey, Blaze just talking about the fact that you're a local. You know this place. Do you think that's been a good help for you here this weekend?
Yes and no. Having the last 2 years off has been quite hard, and coming back and trying to run with the front pack, it's been difficult to get used to. Like before the Nationals, we had only done 4 or 5 meetings in 2 years, so to be back and even be on the podium, I'm happy with. And as long as I can finish every race, I'll be happy, and even making it back into the pits next time.
There we go. There you go. Now, just to give you an idea, folks, of the humour we're generating, if you haven't picked it up, that actually Zane has crashed after the race. So it's not so much about doing it when the race was on, but doing it afterwards as well. Thank you. First of all, Daniel, well done. We're seeing your results improve all the time. Is it a matter of time on the bike, or how are you feeling? What's the story out there? This is good news.
I bought the bike about 8 weeks ago with no intention for Nationals, but after doing 2 club meetings, I thought, no, I've got to give it a go. So here I am, first podium in the National Series and my first real National Series. So looks like we might be going to the North Island, although we planned not to. Didn't quite expect this result. So yeah, big thanks to Manscaped. Definitely big thanks to Steve Ward and Dunlop as well. So yeah.
What a great story. Congratulations. Tell us a bit about the time you've had on a bike. What class have you been riding?
I started up about 2 years ago on a 600 and realised it wasn't for me. I've been developing a Aprilia RS250 road bike for a while, realised it was no GP bike, and I've seen the light and come to the 125s.
Isn't it fantastic? What are you learning? What would you say have been your most learnings out of Ruapuna and now here at Levels?
Definitely other riders, being able to follow other riders, sit behind them, see what they're doing, and get a good understanding for what wins a race. Basically, is consistency.
Well done, Daniel Jenkins. Good result.
Right, we're underway with the Gixer Cup class. Now, I give these boys a bit of a hard time, and I mix them well with us and all that sort of thing. What I thought I might do, just for a change in the commentary boxes, while we're commentating the race and all that, somebody goes off in the grass there out of turn 2, is drop a few boy band names. We call them the boy band boys, and that's, you know, some of them got boy band haircuts, so gelling well with it. So I'm going to drop a few boy band names in the commentary, and later on we're going to run the contest, so you're going to have to look at C-Test Live during the week and work out it. For, you know, no examples and that sort of thing. Right now we've got 15 bikes going down the back straight, and what we got in the 15 bikes has been 19 Gixers out there. So these guys, a lot of fast young pilots out there. 19 people are already on bikes. Another 2 bikes they sell, and you might get 21 pilots out there in the class. They go out of sight for the first lap, and of course I think we've got the point system. Yeah, no, we do not have the points at the moment, but Michael Wilson qualified on pole. Tarbin Walker there was in second place with Thomas Newton. Great bikes, these bikes. You can buy them as they are for $5,995, fully kitted, ready to race pretty well with leathers, a stand, helmet and everything else like that. And you can go and buy these road bikes. Road bikes are available in the fully faired version like we've got here now, and they are $2,995. You can also buy another one with about 2.6 with less fairings on there. And what you do, of course, you go out on the roads, and of course you go in both directions. Right here, we are only allowed to go in one direction. If we see Thomas Newton go across the start-finish line, followed by Tarbin Walker, the man that's had a lot of races so far. he's gone up inside of him and just said, take that, Tarbin, get through there and get into the front. But they've got a good break there, Neil Ritchie. They've already got a good break. You've just arrived back in the commentary box, so you need to breathe a bit. But already those two lead bikes have got a good break. And it was Michael Wilson, I think, yesterday had the jump start. So I didn't see any jump starts, no jump starts displayed. But good battles all the way along there, Neil.
And there's Michael in 5th place at the moment. You can pick him up. He's the man that's just got a little bit of that fluoro just attached to his right at the end of the mudguard at the back. So he's just a point of difference that you've talked about, Spider, on a number of occasions, that these bikes look so familiar. You've got similar riding gear. You've got a very similar bike. In fact, the colour schemes are identical. So it's just what different guys have done, putting a bit of fluoro on or a little bit of tape extra or something in some place that makes them great for us to pick up as to who's who, because other than that, are basically all the same. So well done, Thomas Newton, Tarbin Walker, along with Blake Ross, Clark Fountain, Zach Fuller. Nice to hear the story about young Clark, man. What a progressive young rider. He's the youngest out there at only 14 years of age, this young man out of Greymouth High School on the West Coast. And he's started out in mini motocross. I had the privilege of seeing him at the New Zealand Mini Motocross Champs held on the West Coast about 4 years ago. He's launched into junior motocross, and since then he's had a go at Speedway, won the Junior Gold Cup, and all the way to O'Reilly Park Speedway. They have some competition down there, and he's actually racing on an ex-Ivan Major framed bike. He's also got a 500 here, but he's not big enough to ride it yet. So there's a go for you, Spider, because in fact his father said, hey, road racing, let's give that a go. So there you go, mini motocross, junior motocross, speedway and road racing, and he's 14 years of age. What's the future of the young guy? He's learning all the trade. That's all the arts of being a motorcyclist.
Yeah, and what's the future of all these guys? You know, they're the new kids on the block, and some of them in road racing, some of them are doing other classes like Harry Parker and Tarbin Walker have done other races, but right now look at those two bikes going down that back straight. I can't tell who's who. Tarbin Walker on number 31 has the red front of the fairing. It's a dull red, but we can't see that from the commentary box when they're going down the back straight. But this is certainly turning boys to men here at the racetracks in New Zealand. Welcome to the great tight racing of the Gixer Cups, Neil Ritchie.
Yeah, no change here at the moment. It is Thomas Newton over Tarbin Walker. So that's the way they updated at the end of that lap. So we're expecting to see Tarbin, that he may have been able to fight his way back through there. But there's young Thomas Newton. Now, Thomas was a kid. Here he goes, a good example on that one, Spider, that we've had the change around from the street meeting, the one street meeting at Boxing Day, of course, part of the Suzuki Series. The previous two rounds have been on tracks, Taupo and Manfield, respectively. And on that occasion, Thomas wasn't really in the picture. He'd never been in the top three, and all of a sudden he just came out and stormed and did a fantastic win at Wanganui. So well done. There's the two of them head down there. No change in it. That's the Thomas show out there at the moment.
Yeah, there was a couple of swaps over there while you're looking in another direction there, Neil, and definitely they've been banging it out all the way through. Tarbin, I think, got in on the inside on the or the outside at the hairpin. Then he had to sit up, whether he had a tyre slide or he's just about to run into Thomas Newton. It's certainly, but we've only got one set of eyes each, and that's the situation, folks. Right now down the track straight, it is still Thomas Newton with Tarbin Walker. Yesterday we had our first ever race here for the Gixer Cup class. 1:26.859 was the lap record set by Tarbin Walker. It went to a couple of people over the day, but at the end of the day, it was Tarbin Walker. We're running in the early 27s now, 27.3 with, I think, Thomas Newton's the fastest out there. Indeed, Thomas Newton is the fastest out there. But we go all the way back to 10th place where Cameron Goldfinch, I called him Goldfish yesterday, it was a slip of the tongue, but Cameron Goldfish from Wanganui is in the 1:27. So maybe some of these guys further down need to identify getting off the start. Maybe they get porked and people. So we're already all the way down to 10th, and that's good. Cameron Goldfish is improving all the way through, but that's a creditable lap time for him, and all those guys ahead of him. A couple of 28s, but mostly 27s, Neil.
I had the opportunity to talk to long-time Suzuki legend Phil Turnbull at the Manfield round, and Phil was saying, it was just a kind of encouragement that they wanted. He's looking for a young guy to be able to put his local courtesy motorcycle business with a young rider on it. So that's what the Suzuki dealers are looking to do. So it becomes a little bit of a dealership battle as well. And you've got the great Mark White from Whiteline out of Pyroar, the street racing capital of the Hauraki Plains, to get him behind his young man Blake Ross, and a good example that other motorcycle dealers want to do so. And I know Team Crawford, Alan and John at Southern Suzuki doing the same with young Michael Wilson. So that's how you get in at 5,995 for the whole package, Spider. It's just unbelievable to get in a racing. We're not talking about just a bike at that. That's the boots, that's the full leathers, and that's the Alpine Star that is, and that's the bell helmet as well.
Yeah, and interesting, the speeds are going down the back straight. The eyes wide open, not enough time to blink. 182 k's an hour, though. I think the Supersport 300s are getting down there. But this is incredible. I checked the lap times, the average lap speed at Wanganui, 88 k's an hour for the Gixer Cup bikes, 117 for the super bikes. So that's where it's at, and the racing is so tight all the way across the fields.
Yeah, great to see. And people perhaps to understand, in all politeness, folks, these bikes at a massive 17 horsepower. You know, there is nothing on these bikes, but that's what's making it close and exciting, and that's why it's an introduction sport for the champions of the future. Suzuki growing the champions, and that's exactly what I see. The Gixer Cup, these little Suzuki GSX 150. So great to see as they battle it out there. Still looking to the same, and no change here at the moment.
Tarvin Walker tried around the outside on that hairpin, just made the track longer, but he coming up, lining up here. Who's going to take a flag? Check the flag. Tarvin Walker, second place with Thomas Newton taking the win. But Tarvin gets the fastest lap at 26.709, and that's a new lap record. 1.1 of a second better than it was yesterday. So that's interesting. Shows you a bit about the conditions of the track and that. But what sensational racing. Thomas Newton, Tarvin Walker. Slow motion here, Neil Ritchie.
Yeah, indeed. We're watching out for this one, courtesy of CTAS Live, as we come through the flip-flop, the Carter tyres. But look at that, see for Tarvin. So he wants to get up on the inside if he can and get into the next corner. But no, indeed, Thomas just closes the line tight when they nudge the grass on the inside of the corner. Exceptional to see as they head towards our feature finish line here, courtesy of Timaru Science, High Paul Smith, contracting Fulton Hogan, and of course our pub charities due to the Lion Foundation. A massive opportunity to go for that victory, and it was taken by Thomas Newton. So well done to the Auckland 20-year-old, courtesy of Workspace Outfitters, Coleman Suzuki, Shaw Motorcycles, Huffcore New Zealand, Hub Speed, and GP Racing. So nice to see there from Thomas.